Yeah, I am Femi.
Hello, everyone. Yeah. Welcome back to the show. This is a nightly broadcast. Let me just get this off. And I want to start with the good news that we have today. The 38 worshippers. You know, it's been a barrage of bad news starting this week. And but we have a cause to at least to have some respite, to have some a little bit of calm, given that the 38 worshippers have been released. They've been released, and that's it. You know, 4 days ago, we had the ambush that was laid to the Ikuru church, the worshippers in the church, Christian worshippers, you know, got kidnapped. I think 3 people were killed. But now we just have the news that they've been released earlier today. So I'm just going to go through that, and then we start with that good news.
Well, on behalf of the government and people of Kwara State, we thank President Nnamdi for his hands-on approach to bringing them back home. As you can see, he did not go to the G20 just to pay attention to this. We can't say much until there's a brief.
Sorry, the volume is bad. They've been released. That's what we have right now at this moment. Let me see. I saw this. Let me see.
So I have a breaking news for you at the moment, and that is that the Kwara State Governor Abdul Rahman Abdul Razak has announced the release of 38 abducted worshippers of the Christ Apostolic Church, Eruku, in Ekiti local government area of the state. The victims who were kidnapped during a recent attack on the church regained their freedom on Sunday.
Eruku City, the home of peace. I mean, that's the
After
title.
days of what the governor described as intense collaboration among security agencies and government authorities. Governor Abdul Razak attributed the successful rescue operation to what he called President Bola Tinubu's hands-on approach, saying the president personally led efforts to secure the release of the abducted persons.
Wow, that's great. Okay, that's great. I wish these people, you know, well as they continue about their daily life. It's just quite unfortunate. So the church earlier today reopened even after the attack. There was still 38 people kidnapped, but I think service went on. As we could see that. Let me see this one.
Welcome to God's own team of Kwara State have regained freedom. In an official statement, local government area of Kwara State and is excited to announce the freedom of 38 persons who were recently abducted in an attack on Christ Apostolic Church, CAC, Eruku, Ekiti, local government area of Kwara State. The governor says this is only due to the hands-on approach of President Bola Tinubu, GCFR, who has personally led the effort to free the abductees. The abductees were freed today, November 23rd. The governor is immensely grateful to President Tinubu for his direct initiative that made this happen. The president had called off his scheduled trip for the G20 meeting in South Africa to attend to the breaches in Kwara and Kebbi State. He had also directed heightened security deployment to Kwara, in what underlined his firm commitment to safety and well-being of our people and Nigerians as a whole. One resident on social media.
Okay, so that's that about that. Let me reduce this background music. That's that about that. And this is really trending right now. In Nigeria, rescued is trending because President Bola Ahmed Tinubu announced that all the 38 worshippers at the Christ Apostolic Church, Eruku, Kwara State on Tuesday has been rescued. Nigerians are asking how, rescued or released, because the state governor said they were freed. Apparently, it was a joint operation by the NIA, I guess the Nigerian Intelligence Agency, the DSS, okay, the Nigerian police, the Nigerian army, as confirmed by the Kwara state government. So this was Tinubu's tweet. My fellow Nigerians, okay, you will recall that I cancelled my trip to the G20 summit in South Africa to enable me coordinate the security effort at home. Thanks to the efforts of our security forces over the last few days, all the 38 worshippers abducted in Eruku, Kwara State have been rescued. I'm equally happy that 51 out of the missing students of the Catholic schools in Niger State have been recovered. Wow, I didn't even know that. So we have the 51 out of the 52, right? Because I learned 52 was missing. Some people said it was 100. Wow. I'm closely monitoring the security situation nationwide and receiving continuous update from the front line. Let me be clear, I will not relent. Every Nigerian in every state has the right to safety, and under my watch, we will secure this nation and protect our people. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. Okay, this was his tweet today announcing the release, also the recovery of 51 of those that were kidnapped in Niger. What about those in Kebbi State? What is happening? We want to know what is really happening over there. Okay, we want to really know what's happening to those ones. I think there were 25 students there. Now, people are actually, as all the 38 churchgoers kidnapped have been rescued. So what happened to the bandits? Yeah. I mean, we cannot be reactionary. Good that they are rescued. How do we forestall? How do we prevent the kidnapping of some other people in the future? That's a question. That's what people want to know. Can we say we are secured now? So I think there's the video. Yeah, so again, welcome to the show. I appreciate you joining. Again, yeah, CAC, when you hear CAC, Olorun Babalola means, the God of Babalola. Babalola is the founder of CAC. And one of the things they do in the CAC church is they pray a lot. I'm so happy that they are back home. I'm so happy that they've been released. I want to know what happened to those, because there's no way you would release these guys without knowing where the bandits or the terrorists are. So what happened to them? We want answers. We want answers. How come there was loss of intelligence with respect to their kidnapping? The same thing with Niger State. I know for Niger State, the governor already said that they actually barred schools from opening their hostel, at the time. But I'm happy they're back. How do we prevent, the occurrence of this issue? Especially this last week, we had just multifaceted kidnappings across the country. Sorry, if they were rescued. Hi, welcome to the show. Again, how do we know what really happened behind the scene? Now, nobody would. I was saying that Tinubu needs to even, address the nation. Let's know what's happening. Let's know what's happening. Government magic. Was there any ransom paid? Did we give them money? I learned that they reduced from requesting 200 million per person to 20 million. Sorry, 100 million per person to 20 million. President Tinubu emphatically reiterated his resolve, recovering the remaining 250 plus students. 250 plus? I thought they said only 52 people were kidnapped. That was the news. That was the official number. But someone did an X tweet, X video, and said more than 200. More than 200. Oh man, that's crazy. That's really crazy. And yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Again, that's that about that with Nigeria, with what is happening in Nigeria right now. At least we're happy. There are still some that are still missing. We hope that they are released as soon as possible and that they are back home with their families. Okay, so that's that about that. Let me see if there are other information. Let me just look at let me look at Tinubu's handle, right? Let me even see, yeah, official bat. $7 hours ago, 9 hours ago. Okay, November 19. Oh, he did send a message, but there was no press release. It was saying it was heartbroken by the abduction of our daughters in Kebbi and the painful loss of Brigadier General Musa Uhuba and the brave soldier who fell in Borno. Okay, and then today, I guess he was walking behind the scene. My fellow Nigerians, you will recall, I've read all these. I canceled my trip. I am closely monitoring the situation and receiving continuous update from the front line. Let me be clear, I will not relent. Okay, that was it. Now, this is another one. What's happening here? Let me listen. Okay. I mean, just a meeting, right? Nothing. No sound, nothing, just the background music. Well, that's an Onuga, right? Okay, so yeah, this was what President Tinubu tweeted. Okay, shortly today, I think 7 hours ago, at the extended security briefing, telling you that we actually have, guys working round the clock to secure their release. I'm happy that those people are back, but we need to know, how do we beef up the security? Africa knows we have men in Nigeria. Please do something. Yeah, I mean, the giant of Africa, right? And then we helped also secure peace in other countries. But right now, it's like we're not really pulling all the weights. I hope things change, and I hope things change, drastically, and things change fast. But people should not stop talking. People should not stop demanding, that the whole country be secured, especially those people in the interland, that it becomes so difficult, for them to have a voice. They're not in Lagos, they're not in Abuja, but they're part of the country. Okay. And then this was also another tweet from the president. I'm currently in an extended security meeting with the heads of our defense and intelligence apparatus, including the chief of defense staff, chief of army staff, inspector general of police, director general of the DSS at the State House. We are reviewing the latest report and taking decisive actions to stabilize the affected areas and protect our citizens. I'm receiving continuous briefing and have directed our security services to move with speed, precision, and absolute resolve. As president, I'm fully committed to the security of all Nigerians. Those who threaten the peace and security of our nation will face the full weight of the law. Nigeria will prevail. Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Okay. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Hopefully this is not just an empty threat, but we're backed up by activity and all of that. Jagaban asked them the benefit of providing them with the necessary helicopter and fighter jet, because there was nothing like this under PDP rule for 16. Anyways, Mr. Bola Tinubu, can anything good truly emerge from yet another security meeting? Okay, thank God we never make mistake of voting Peter Obi. Anyway, so you have all these, all this stuff. What is this? This is crazy. We didn't arrest the bandits because they came out voluntarily for the peace talk, IGP of police, and will go back with their guns. This would be an old video.
Reported bandits coming out for peace deals, and you want to know what my reaction is to that. Criminals who want to embrace peace, we won't shut the doors to them. If they want to surrender, they are welcome. But that does not mean that we are going to relax on our onslaught on them. Question 2 from Adewale Kehinde, Swift Reporter.
This is going to be an old video,
We want to
actually.
know what we are doing about attacks on our men. Of course, severally, I have sounded warning to the public against attacking police officers on lawful duties.
Okay.
Attacks on our men is unacceptable. We don't accept attack on police officers carrying out their lawful duties. Severally have appealed to the public that if they feel that they do not agree with the conduct of a police officer, they should please report that police officer to the authorities. Every state has a command commissioners of police. Every division has a DPO.
Okay.
Every area has area commander. We also have the complaint response units in all the states of the Federation, and their phone numbers have been displayed several times in the media. If you don't agree with the conduct of any police officer, don't attack that policeman. Report his conduct to his superiors.
Okay, this is going to be an old video. Nigeria do not need pictures of emergency meeting or carefully worded statement to feel reassured. What we need and what we're begging for is to see real, tangible safety in our daily lives. Our people want to sleep in their homes without fear, travel on highways without praying for survival, send their children to school without anxiety, and farm their lands without being hunted. These are the metrics that matter, not photo ops or announcement of high-level meeting. Continued insecurity makes such declaration feel more like routine political ritual than genuine solution. Results, not rhetorics, are what gives citizens confidence. And beyond that, true strategy is not loud. Security meetings of such magnitude are traditionally discreet for a reason: to deny hostile actors any insight into government plan. Publicizing them repeatedly adds no value and risk. Okay, so this is coming from Obiora Otu. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So killers can walk into a meeting in the name of reconciliation and police will not even try them for the offense committed. That's quite unfortunate. That seems like that's what he's saying. Let them finish the meeting today and let there be an honest sipping out of the Boko Haram and the bandits. I agree with that also. Yeah, let them, get these people out and let them get them out fast and let them move with speed. Again, until there is a certainty that there is a peace, I don't know. It's just going to be, this hurriedly putting off a fire here and there with no concrete strategy. And result is what really matters. Result is the name of the game. If there's no result, then it becomes a problem. But that's that about that. I'm going to move on. And I'm happy that you have the hostages, released. And we'll see what happens. I don't know if this is a topic I want to cover. There's been this back and forth with this Uzo Njoku Wambe's exhibition in Lagos. And there's been all these, let us cancel it, don't let us cancel it. This person is not really respecting, the Yoruba culture and all that. But at the end of the day, okay, I think he did hold. And that's it. I wouldn't say more to that. I don't want to go into, all this back and forth. I think Twitter is a place that is really ripe for that. Pettiness laced with class, and all of those. But it is what it is. If you actually are a follower of world event and history, and things that has been happening, you will discover that there's been a sudden, not sudden though, because it was predictable that that would happen, that there is now an hard stance towards immigration, especially the United States, Canada, United Kingdom, Europe also, I might add. At some point post-COVID, there's been a very harsh stand towards, welcoming immigrants into the country. And that's because post-COVID, there was a lot of economic uncertainties. Countries have gone ahead to print so much money while people stayed at home because of the epidemic of COVID. So as a result of rising costs, you have inflation. Okay, you had, prices of houses had skyrocketed, and then there was a lot of weakening with respect to demand. And then you also had the central banks of various countries, decided to increase the interest rates just as a result of that. So it became so difficult that people with mortgages had to carve out more money, especially when they don't have a fixed term. So there's been a sudden change towards the reception of people into all of these countries. And I've mentioned all these countries, US, UK, Canada, and the likes. So now this week in Canada, there was certain hearing with respect to immigration. And there's now, I would say, a posture towards canceling some of people that are here on a temporary immigration status. I'm going to binge watch this. And then, because now what is trending now in Canada, people coming out to say that, a sudden cancellation of their visas, especially those that came in, on asylum and refugee, would not work. So I just want to get a sense of what is happening right now, and then I'll just go through different stuff and see how that, relates to every other person. The same thing is happening in the UK also. There's been so many laws, that have been put in place, and so many changes to the immigration system. And even our own, what's his name again? Badenoch has even come out in a very, very surprising manner to oppose, the various friendliness immigration status of the United Kingdom. So let's see. Let's just say that.
In 2012, former Immigration Minister Jason Kenney used one-time legislation in the 2012 budget to cancel specific applications. Why does the government need the powers outlined in this bill for application? Like, why couldn't you just put it in a piece of legislation?
Please. Thank you for the question. So currently, no authorities exist to cancel applications en masse. The 2012 Federal Skilled Worker Inventory Elimination was accomplished through legislative amendments.
Right, but why couldn't you just do a piece of legislation?
Because it doesn't allow for the flexibility to define the public interest as well as...
Okay, so you, as the bureaucracy, want to be able to determine that without going through Parliament?
No. The policy intent is to be able to quickly respond to emergencies, crises, health issues.
So why didn't you define what public interest means in the legislation then?
Because there are so many potential instances. So that's why we were trying to say health, security.
But why isn't that defined in the legislation?
Because it just would too closely, I think, restrict us to only being able to apply a recommendation to the OIC.
It's a fairly big devolution of power to the bureaucracy from Parliament. And I'm trying to understand, because there hasn't been an instance given by you or the minister, an example of where that would be used, why that couldn't be achieved by legislation.
So may I offer some examples? Thank you. So quickly facilitate the extensions or stay for temporary residents in Canada following a significant natural disaster. When intelligence is received from security partners, if there's a suspected specific threat of foreign...
My frame is dropping. What's happening?
Interference, electoral interference, espionage. We could pause any kind of applications in that process.
Why didn't you include a report to Parliament as part of the use of these powers?
Well, I think that we were trying to clearly indicate that there is no clear one path for the use of these powers.
Except for legislation, which has been used before, correct?
Right, which is a very defined portion of a one-time elimination of a backlog. It doesn't involve applications
so it's
or
the backlog.
documents.
Okay, so we've now got to the heart of the matter. Did you guys include this because the backlog's so big and you need to kind of a little bit?
So this is exactly why we didn't go with one-time legislation, such as was what was done in 2012 with Minister Kenny, because
Okay.
that was a one-time elimination of a backlog.
So you just talked about backlog,
The
so would you
intention
ever
of
use
this
it to clear a
has nothing
backlog?
to do with
Chair,
backlogs.
point of order. Point of order, Chair.
Thank you. Point of order, Mr.
The
Frederick.
witness has wanted to offer a full statement back. I'm not sure she's had the opportunity to do that on a few occasions here. Let's just allow for that.
Please let her answer the
It's
question.
also not a point of order. Thank you. So I'll just ask again. So you brought up the point of backlog. I'm trying to figure out why I should support this. I'm on the fence, honestly, because it's a big devolution of powers. We've had a lot of witnesses say that I shouldn't. And I'm like, I need you to convince me, because the department has messed up. You guys have, you've said that there's fraud. There's a huge backlog.
Okay, so just to put some more context. Hi, welcome to the show. There's been a lot of issues with Canada's immigration system due to they just noticed at some point that some people were doing a lot of fraud with the system, and then they had people come in, with various papers that was not even well vetted. And then you had a lot of backlog with respect to schools, and then people finish their colleges. Most importantly, I think most of them come for colleges, and then they can find a job, and then some of them just end up being homeless and all of those. So as a result of that, based on the pressure of that, also the impact on housing cost, infrastructure, and all that, there's been a drastic reduction in the number of international students that could come into Canada. And again, they're trying to also look into the powers of the agencies to give, asylum and all of that. So that's just the background. And it's just more of a very, very, difficult stance to people trying to leave, wherever they are to come to these countries to have at least, call it a greener pasture. And that's just it.
We all get casework. And now you're telling me that I should give my powers as a legislator to you without any report to Parliament. Why should I trust you?
So, I think the checks and balances are present there. The transparency through the publication of the Gazette, the conversations that we'll have
What
with
would be published in the Gazette?
any potential options around the public interest to suspend,
What level of detail?
cancel. Very detailed. It would have to be down to the type of application, the type of person. It would depend on the situation. It could involve like I was saying before, in a healthcare situation, if we needed to mass extend healthcare workers because of a crisis in Canada, it would have to specifically say these applications of people who are already in Canada, they would be extended.
Okay.
The level of detail is there. But if going back to the legislation that was tabled in 2012, that is not nimble. It doesn't allow us as Canada
I know,
to
I
respond.
have a problem as a legislator giving you these powers, right? It's a big devolution of
Right.
powers, and I feel like the department and the minister hasn't done an adequate job. And what I would encourage you to do in the short time that we have left is explain this in more detail, because you guys got roasted by the legal community, ethnic media. There's a lot of fear over this right now, and I don't think you've adequately communicated what this means. And that's a problem for me as a legislator.
Right.
I have another set of questions with the time I have left. We heard this week that your department, as part of the bill review, had really kind of devolved the screening of asylum claimants through the use of this one-touch system. It was reported to committee by the head of a union, and it's very concerning. We also had stories from Global News.
All right,
that
let me see. Okay.
Hamas terrorists have been granted asylum claims.
What?
Your department couldn't answer an order paper question on how many citizens, criminals you gave citizens.
How would you give a terrorist asylum in a country that is relatively peaceful? This is part of the issue, when you talk about Nigeria and also other countries that are facing terrorism. The lack of foresight, a lack of not thinking straight and thinking about the future is what brings all of these problems, that we're facing today. How would you give us a mass terrorist, even on what basis would they even apply for asylum in Canada?
Ships too,
Wow.
30 seconds.
What's going on with this one-touch system? Let's start there.
Perhaps I could answer that, Madam Chair, and I'll try to be quick. I'll touch on why we introduced One Touch, how we went about developing One Touch, and what One Touch is. And in fact, cast your mind back a few years ago, we were facing fairly significant volumes, overwhelming volumes at the border. And what we're
Hashtag welcome to Canada volumes. Yes.
Ms. Rempel-Garner, kindly let him answer the question.
And so at that time, the practice was to actually adjourn a lot of these claims. And what that did was actually to push the risk inland and actually push the volumes inland. And in this committee itself observed the number of the delays it was taking to get eligibility decisions with that practice. And so, in fact, our frontline staff who were looking at how can we do this better, how can we do this differently, worked to develop a new process, which is what
it's a self-declaration.
Ms. Rempel-Garner, your time is up. I was just allowing our witness to complete his answer.
So fundamental to One Touch is it is not a self-declaration. In fact, the front end of it involves an in-depth review, by face-to-face interview, collection of biometric information, assessment by a highly trained and experienced border services officer who will make a determination based on the level of risk. Based on that level of risk, if the risk is low, we will then allow the administration portion of the assessment to be moved inland.
Was the head of the union lying? Was the head of the union lying?
Thank you, Ms. Rempel-Garner. Thank you, Mr. McCrory.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to go back to the mass cancellation powers. In earlier testimony, you've outlined that these powers could be used in cases of fraud. Do you plan on using them should the bill pass to address cases of fraud? Are there any active cases that you would use this on?
We don't have any active plans to use it, no.
So there are no active plans at present to use the power whatsoever?
No.
So then why did you propose it?
We proposed it on the tail end of experiences that we learned through COVID, where we saw that there could have been a need to have a mass power to extend or pause documents, applications. And so we thought that it was a good idea to be able to respond to crises, emergency situations.
So Ms. Lang, if you're sitting here, we're sitting here in 18 months from now, and I pull this testimony up, you guys won't have... And I'm doing ATIPs on you guys. There's nothing that you would have been planning to use these power for? Absolutely nothing?
So we have no plans to use the power. We're not going to turn around if the bill passes and start submitting an order in council. I mean, there are going to be areas of the department, there could be groups that come to us to say, hey, maybe we should look at this. Like, there's emerging threats on a daily basis.
I don't understand why it's in here then.
Because we don't know what's around the corner. So we need that flexibility.
But I'm not going to... I also don't understand why you couldn't use legislation.
Because legislation takes a super long time to pass.
But this is a pretty big power, right? That you're asking for?
It's a
so
big power with a significant amount of checks and balances. It's not
how, because you don't come to Parliament through this, right? Bill.
I can't comment on advice to the minister. We're here to talk about the measures that are being studied by the committee.
You can.
We look at.
No, you can. Actually, that's a valid question for the committee.
Okay, so I'm gonna move on. Just to show you, mass cancellation of immigration status. It's a big devolution of power from Parliament, and then you get to Twitter and you see Immigration Canada is trending. So first thing that happened this week was that J.D. Vance, who is the Vice President of the United States of America, decided to, poke his nose into what is happening in Canada's immigration. And then Vance highlighted that Canada leads among G7 nations in foreign-born residents at 23% from the 21 census, while real GDP per capita has fallen behind peers like the US and UK since 2019, with an 0.4% drop to a 58.8 thousand in Q2 2025. He argued this immigration insanity, not US policies, explained the lag, urging Canadians to look at their own leadership amid housing strain and service pressure. Again, I think there are so many things. Welcome to the show. There's so many things that you could actually allude to the fact that, there are certain economic challenges in Canada. But again, just to take immigration as the boogeyman, if there's anything that is called that, just to take immigration alone and so it's because of immigration, that's why things are bad, I think is ingenuous. And again, it is what it is. There are so many factors, and not just immigration. Okay, but again, that's the normal rhetorics that is coming out from J.D. Vance, and it is what is it? J.D. Vance speaks the truth to Canadian and gives Liberal a much more reality check. Your stagnating living standards have nothing to do with Trump or whatever bogeyman the CBC is telling you. So now Canada is blaming Trump for economic woes, and then J.D. Vance is saying that no, it's not. It's possibly there were some policies, that was put in place that has not helped, Canada as a country. So again, it is what it is, and we'll see what happens. So this is a picture of the earthquake that happened in 2023 in Turkey, and I think a part of Syria, that killed over 50,000 people, destroyed 11 cities, and affected 30 million lives. And they were given a temporary status in Canada for their safety. Now with these new immigration laws, there is a possibility that some of those stay will be cancelled, and that's what is happening right now. People are now kind of telling the government to kind of look and consider, look at this. Our children have built friendships, found safety, and created a sense of home here in Canada. This is the only home they know. Please let us continue to stay here, meaning let us continue our journey. Again, that is really what is trending with respect to immigration in Canada this week. I'm going to move on from this one and see what happens. And then I think for now, there's going to be argument back and forth. And then once that is done, we'll move on. Now, in another news, the United States of America, they've been having different discussion with respect to the Jeffrey Epstein file. For those of you who don't know who Jeffrey Epstein is, Jeffrey Epstein happens to be an individual that was involved with underage girls and all of those. They thought I was trafficking, girls for top officials in the government, in the industry also. And one thing led to another. There was a prosecution. And then early on, the whole thing was kind of buried. And then after a while, Trump came into office, the whole thing resurfaced again. He was taken into prison. One way or the other, he died. And then they did an investigation. They said he was dead by suicide. And there's been a call to release the files for a while now. There's been so much calls to release the file. And so as of this week, Donald Trump has given the express approval for the files to be released. So that is what is really happening now in the USA with respect to Jeffrey Epstein. Just give me a sec. Let me see if I can get that out for you. Yeah, sorry. Just let me see if I can get anything from here. Real reason Jeffrey Epstein hated, Trump's release my absolutely terrified. Let me see this. I just want to be sure where things are at so that I can give you the latest when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein. Okay,
the remarkable Republican reversal on the Epstein files bill is now complete. President Donald Trump signed the law yesterday, compelling his government to release all files on sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. But today, Republicans are still facing questions on whether the Attorney General will comply, especially after Trump pushed her to start investigations into figures like former Democrat President Bill Clinton.
I expect him to fully comply. I haven't seen her comments, but if she said we'll follow the law, then good. That's what we want. And I'd expect her to. I've known Pam Bondi a long time. I'd expect her to follow the law completely, and they need to do so swiftly. The statute calls for, I think it's 30 days. It's not long.
They could say, though, that this investigation's underway and they can't give out information because they're investigating Democrats. Does that concern you that they may do that?
No, I don't think they'll do that. I think that would be a mistake to do that, and I don't think they will.
Jonathan.
So again, yeah, that's it. So Trump approved that they release the file. There's been a lot of argument back and forth, saying that Trump was implicated, Trump was part of the whole, conspiracy and all of that. But now it's giving, the express authority to actually move on with the Jeffrey Epstein case. So we're going to be watching to see what happens. Let me see if I can see all this stuff.
Chait is a staff writer at The Atlantic who covers American politics. Jonathan Chait, it's good to see you. Thank you for being here, sir.
Thanks for having me.
So the president has fought against the release of the Epstein files. He called them a Democratic hoax right up until he agreed to release them. Why do you think he changed his course on this?
Well, he was going to lose the vote in Congress over a resolution calling on the files to be released. So he wanted to avoid the appearance of powerlessness, or by whatever pretext he could reach for. So he turned around and said he was in favor of this resolution. But it's a very strange situation that I don't think people completely appreciate. This is a resolution calling on him to release the Epstein files, one in which I think he probably has a great deal of power to ignore. So he's saying he's in favor of this resolution. But reporters keep asking him, well, if you're in favor of the resolution calling on you to release the Epstein files, why don't you just release the Epstein files? And he's responded to these questions by simply abusing the reporters who asked them.
Right. Yeah, like there was the be quiet piggy line on Air Force One.
Right.
The beratement of the ABC White House correspondent with the threat to strip ABC.
And the thing about this guy was that he was involved with almost every, Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, all the big names. Is it Riff Oddman or something? Was his name? That's the founder of LinkedIn. A lot of celebrities, big stars, Hollywood, and all that. So again, so there was also various theories. He was a friend of Trump for a while. And then I think 2014, he was kicked out of Trump's Mar-a-Lago. So the guy is almost everywhere. And there's also the conspiracy that he was actually also working for the intelligence agency and he was running a blackmail ring. So it was a big stuff, in the United States. And we got to this point, Trump promised during his campaign that he was going to release the file. And at some point, when he got in, and then it was just all messed up with respect to the first release, what they released something that was nothing at first. And then the whole pressure was building. And then finally, they've now decided that, okay, fine, just release it and start your prosecution. We'll see how that will go because a lot of big names is going to be implicated.
Of its broadcast license. He says he's not afraid of it and it's not a big deal, but then he's obviously incredibly sensitive to the questions.
Yeah, his allies admit that he's acting like someone who has something to hide, but they simply insist that he must not have something to hide, and he's acting this way and making himself look guilty for no reason whatsoever. I don't think that's the most persuasive explanation of his behavior, but of course I can't prove that.
Well, we got another explanation for that today from Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary. She was asked about the piggy comment, and she said the president is very frank and honest, and it's one of the reasons he was reelected. I mean, what do you make of that one?
I don't think people voted for him mainly because of his tendency to berate reporters, and especially female ones, over their appearance. I think they probably voted for him despite those qualities.
So here we are. We have House and Senate Republicans. They seem eager to release the files. All but one congressman voted for the bill. So how difficult of a position is Trump put in with this? Because Congress has done everything he's wanted, seemingly, to this point, and they wouldn't do it on this particular one.
Yeah, well, the margins are incredibly narrow in the House of Representatives, so it only takes a handful of Republicans to defect for the party to lose the vote. But this happened over a period of months, and this was an issue in which many hardcore right-wing Republicans were very, very exercised, and that's really what makes this defection so unusual. Typically, a president of any party, when they have defectors in their party, they lose the most moderate members to join with it.
Okay, so I'm gonna move on. It's called for the release. And at the same time, I just want to just go through, X and see what's happening with respect to that. The call is for them to have the file released, and then we'll move on from there. So this is what is trending. Also, there was also the link to say that, Jeffrey Epstein worked for Israel. But let me see what this is. Bibi means the prime minister of Israel right now, blows the lead of Epstein's Israel ties. Let me see this.
So Netanyahu seemed to imply Jeffrey Epstein did in fact work for Israel. Kind of a bombshell. He does this in a way where he thinks this is exposing his enemies, his political enemies. But in reality, all he's doing is exposing that Epstein was in fact working for Israel. And even if Epstein was not working for Netanyahu, and even if Epstein was against Netanyahu, certainly Netanyahu, as the current prime minister of Israel, is benefiting from whatever intel Epstein turned over to the state of Israel. We're not idiots. Every administration doesn't have to start fresh with new intel. No, the CIA hands the new president a briefing and says, this is everything you need to know to keep it on track. And you got to do pretty much the exact same thing as the last guy when it comes to foreign policy, by the way. So it's not any different in Israel. So Netanyahu shares this story. He actually tweets this out. He shares this. Jeffrey Epstein claimed to have meddled in Israel's elections. Netanyahu, in his warped mind, is sharing this thinking that this is making him look good somehow, because this article details how Jeffrey Epstein worked with Ehud Barak and his political comeback in 2019 when he challenged Benjamin Netanyahu. And obviously, Ehud Barak was one of the guys that was visiting Jeffrey Epstein and was very abusive to some of the women, according to the allegations. If you imply that Jeffrey Epstein was somehow working for the state of Israel, you are an anti-Semite. That's what we've been told. We've been told that thinking Epstein worked for the state of Israel made us anti-Semites. And now Netanyahu, who by the way is the biggest anti-Semite of all, because he wants to kill all the Palestinians and they're all Semites, and he's not. He's sitting there sharing this, the very thing that we're not allowed to do. No one in the mainstream media here in the United States is sharing this. No U.S. politician sharing this. But you got Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel, saying, yeah, look at this. Epstein worked for Israel, just not for me. He worked for Ehud Barak, the other prime minister, just not me. And this is somehow supposed to what? What is this supposed to do? What was this supposed to do, Netanyahu? Because we all know that Mossad didn't burn the files when Ehud Barak was no longer prime minister. I mean, give me a break.
Again, I mean that's another point of view here. I'm just sharing it. Comma. Okay, there was also this one that Jeffrey Epstein actually funded the #1 Democrat in the House of in Congress today.
Evidence. The email speaks for itself. The only stone cold liar in this debate is Hakeem Jeffries. So, Mr. Minority Leader, take a deep breath. Chill out. Stop lying. Stop with the juvenile name calling and own up to the fact that your campaign solicited campaign cash from Jeffrey Epstein. Here's the evidence. The email speaks for itself. The only stone cold liar.
Okay, so that's it. I mean, you're gonna see a lot of back and forth, a lot of mudslinging this week, and then we'll see what happens. And again, temporarily, that eases off pressure from Trump, because people were like, you know what, he doesn't want to release that because he's involved, and that's what we've been told. But now that he's telling them to release, everything, and then let's see what happens, and that's it. Now, this guy, this is the Jeffrey Epstein that, this is Hakeem Jeffries that Jeffrey Epstein funded his campaign early on. He's here trying to actually play politics.
Be clear about
this is July 2022.
The situation here. Jeffrey Epstein was a friend of Donald Trump.
Can you imagine that?
Jeffrey Epstein was arrested during the Trump administration. Jeffrey Epstein was detained during the Trump administration. Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide during the Trump administration. Trump administration officials have said prior to arriving in Washington in positions of prominence, including at the FBI and the Department of Justice, that they were going to release the Epstein files. Trump administration officials are now in a position to release the Epstein files. Does any of that, in your view, have anything to do with President Joe Biden? Why do we think President Joe Biden or President Barack Obama's names are being invoked? Because Donald Trump is running scared. And the Trump administration is running scared. What are they hiding from the American people? Release the files so that the American people can make a decision on their own. This has nothing to do with a Democratic-led conspiracy theory.
Okay, and then we eventually found out that this same guy funded this person that is speaking Speaking's campaign. So again, that's that about that. With respect to Jeffrey Epstein, I'll continue watching, and we'll get back to to get the update of fully what is happening. Now, this is it. Full document. What is this? Okay, this was 2024, so that's still okay. Again, it is what it is on Jeffrey Epstein. We'll keep watching. Let me go back, to the home base Nigeria. So apparently, there's someone that said this is what happened to Nnamdi Kanu when he got to the Sokoto jail, and I'm going to play that for you.
Video that I just made that they want to inject Nnamdi Kanu at Sokoto prison.
Again, this is not verified. Okay, this is not verified. But I learned that he was beaten when he got to the prison today because he refused to wear the prisoner's uniform.
Just like as I told you people that Nnamdi Kanu have been moved from Abuja down to Sokoto prison. So they want to give him uniform to wear, all these prisoners' uniform. But Nnamdi Kanu refused to wear it. That the uniform is something that someone have already wear, that he refused to wear it. So they started beating him up. This is the person that gave me the information. So I have to invite him because a lot of people have started saying it's a lie. It's not true. So I decided to invite him so that you can actually hear from the horse's mouth. Even the person that we're videoing, which would have gotten the video and posted for you people here. So they have arrested the security guy. So just listen to him.
Please, Nigerians, this video is actually real. What happened yesterday is an eyesore. It's a very hard something that happened there yesterday. Which most of us that were there, we saw everything that happened the way it is. So whatever that he said here is true and nothing but the truth. Please, all we have to do now is, you as a true Nigerian, you have to share this. Let justice prevent when it comes to Nnamdi Kanu's case. Let justice prevent. The international body should.
Okay, guys, concern
to Nnamdi Kanu's case. Let justice prevent. The international body should be aware of what is happening, that the man will not die of what he doesn't know about. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So, Nigerians, this is not a joke, it's not a content. But you see all these people that their hands are into this particular matter, it will never be well with you people. I believe this is our own Jesus Christ, the Jesus Christ of our time, and nothing will happen to him. The way Jesus Christ conquered all the enemies, I believe Nnamdi Kanu will also conquer the same thing. Just do well to share the video for us, I beg. Share this video. Let the international community see this thing, see this information. And let all the people of the Southeast, especially Southeast, this video, you people need to take action with an immediate effect. They said they want to inject Nnamdi Kanu by 12 this afternoon. Today,
I don't think this is true, but again, yeah, okay. The account, what? Based in, see where you did. The account is, wow, in a good do jail. What's actually the work of intelligence agency in Nigeria? Okay, so again, I don't think this is a real news. You're mad. Justice for international terrorists. Okay, at Grok, is this report real? Let me look at this. Based on the searches across news sources like This Day, Sahara Reporters, Nnamdi Kanu's life sentence and transfer to Sokoto's prisons are confirmed. Yeah, we confirmed that, but there's no verified report of him being beaten by a warder over prison outfit. The claim appears to originate from an unconfirmed social media. So again, this is not real. But then we don't know, what they're doing to him over there. Hopefully the file is appealed, and possibly there is a political solution to the problem. That's the only thing that I can talk about. Political solution. That's the only thing that I feel would be the lasting solution to that problem. That being said, for now, I'm just going to look at what's happening on my X account. The moment, okay, let me look at this. The moment this security guard threatened to kick Pella out of Olamide's Bado show. What's this?
Wait inside and close that door. Yeah, I'm going to be very straightforward. This is the last chance I'm giving you. If you do it again, I'm taking your wristband off and you're no longer allowed backstage.
What did I do now?
Brother, I asked you to wait inside and close that door.
I want to come out now. I want to go somewhere.
Then go somewhere now.
Don't say anything. Where will they go? Where will they go?
Seriously, just have to follow the instructions.
I don't do anything. I don't go. When we come out, you meet us at the door.
I lie to you, yeah? I'm going to be very straightforward.
Okay, so Olamide Bado, I think he's in the United Kingdom for a music show or tour also. He didn't threaten Pella. Bro was just asking, being professional with his job. Did you even listen to what he said at all? The word threaten isn't appropriate. The nigga is just being professional with his job. Okay, that's that about that. I saw something also between, what's it called? Okay, so this is... so this is Nnamdi Kanu in front of the Sokoto prison. This is Loretta Onichi, which is say, welcome to Sokoto. God bless Nigeria. So this woman has been really, 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 a big opponent of Nnamdi Kanu. This is him here, okay, in Sokoto. I still don't understand why he was taken to Sokoto, but again, it is what it is. Let me see this. Okay, between Portable and a young herdsman who carries a cow around his area. Let me see this.
Malu, ma join banditi. Kay, wallahi, talahi, wallahi, malu, makpa malu fuwa now. Makpa malu fuwa now.
What was this?
Okay. Malu la tunta si ati da malu. Okay, sir. Ọlọ́run ṣe àwọn ló ń dààmú yín ọmọ wọn ló ń bá wa dá màlúù a lè ti torí pé Fúlàní dààmú Nàìjíríà ká pamọ́ Fúlàní àwa ò gbàgbọ́ ní gbàgbọ́gbàdà a lè fi kàṣọ̀kà ọlọ́run ọba ọlọ́run ṣe dá màlúù lọ ó yá wá gbowó sí sáré kéyì wàláyì tàláyì sáré wàláyì. Wallahi sáré máa bọ̀. Ikọ́ kò gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe màálù yẹn o, má fún màálù lórí abẹ́rẹ́ wèrè o. Má fún màálù lábẹ́rẹ́ wèrè o. Wàá ṣe lè kó o fi mọ́ ìtò ìgbà náà tẹ̀lé.
I still don't know in 2025 why this is being tolerated. Why you have people moving heads along other people's property. I don't. This scene in the Head movie depicts the main reason why insurgency and banditry continues to thrive. The locals, the people, the community, they created an enabling environment for terrorists. No military power can overcome such situation. Let me look at this.
Kaka ni. Ẹni láti kú òmí kíákíá o. Àwọn ọlọ́pàá wọ́n ti wá yín wá o.
Màmá. Ìgbà tẹ́ ń bọ̀ ṣé bí ẹnikẹ́ni ò tẹ̀lé yín
ó ti o
ó dà bẹ́ẹ̀.
o gbọ́ pé wọ́n ní pásítọ̀ kan ló lọ fún wọn lọ́wọ́ o.
Pásítọ̀.
What the hell?
Ẹ ṣe bàbá ó dàbọ̀.
What's going on? What are they
doing? All right, welcome to the show. Yeah.
I think Mommy went to the police and now they know.
How do you know?
They offered a phone. A man lied that he's my uncle.
Oh, they use the cow to parade for surveillance? Wow. Wow.
Me faru. Wai akwai wani pastor. Ya je ya gaya masu 'yan sanda inda muke. Pastor kuma aka tace.
To ina ga ko anan suka ji maganar mutuwar wannan mutumin ne, mijin yarinyar nan.
Kwarai gaskiya. To mu bar wurin.
Okay. We'll see what happens. Today, this is the update. I think we saw this already, but let's just listen to it again one more time.
But this is Sokoto. I've been in this town for since 2 days now. Today is the 23rd day of November. I came to see Nnamdi Kanu I have been with him since yesterday, so we have been discussing. So he's in Sokoto Correctional Center here, and what we are asking now is this: somebody whose appeal is in Abuja, and they're putting him in Sokoto, and if you want to file some processes, would the federal government made a private jet available for him to take him to Abuja. After filing his process, they take him back. So that is another issue that is giving us concern, because the place of jurisdiction where he's going to do his appeal is in Abuja. And it's on record that all the filings that he has been doing it by himself in Court of Appeal Abuja Division. So there are some things that he needed to file there, including affidavit. He cannot do it. Everybody is frustrated. We are handicapped. So we are now looking for the next line of action on what to do. But meanwhile, at least for the first time, at least I have seen him. He's to confirm that he's in a Sokoto prison here. So I will be leaving to Abuja now. Then thereafter, I'll keep you people updated. Thanks and God bless you. Well done.
Okay, so it is what it is. We'll see what happens. Hopefully this week is granted some, this week he's able to file the appeal, and then we'll see what happens from there. Yeah. Every Nigerian should read this insightful piece. Think Nigeria, the Reform Notebook. This is from Nasiru Ahmed El-Rufai. Well, I mean, it's interesting. There is even, let me see, a fact check. And the fact check is this claim sidestep the fact that Christians in general are more persecuted than Muslims in Nigeria. What's happening? There's a long read. Let me just see what he's trying to say here. You're just trying to analyze the post to see what he's talking about. Nasiru El-Rufai shares a November 2021, 2025 article warning that foreign intervention often starts with shaped narratives, citing Nnamdi Kanu's recent life sentence for terrorism charges has been reframed by a U.S. congressman as evidence of anti-Christian persecution in Nigeria. The conviction followed a decade-long case with Kanu found guilty on a 7 count, including directing violence and bomb making, opting for life over death penalty. U.S. Rep. John James tied it to broader claims of Christian genocide, echoing lobbying effort by IPOB affiliates documented in FARA filings since 2016. Replies highlight polarized view, with critics accusing El-Rufai of past anti-Christian bias in Kaduna and listing historical Muslim-led attack on Christians, while the post urges awareness of overlooked Muslim victims like Boko Haram to counter selected narrative. Nigeria is the only country in the world that eats cow meat. If we say it's a cow republic, someone will say we're demarketing our beloved country. I mean, they eat cow meat all around the world. I mean, they do all around the world. But again, you can always have, what you want with some sense, with some method in its rearing. I don't understand why in this date and age, we still allow people to do the nomadic, thing. At some point in history, everybody was kind of nomad, right? Everybody was living from one place to the other, from one tent to another, moving from one place to the other. That's why people settled all around the world. If you trace history, people migrated. But this whole idea of just having one tribe or one set of people just trying to claim the whole land, moving their cows from one place to the other, is what I still don't understand. But it is what it is. Let me see. Nnamdi Kanu disappointed Ala Igbo, and if he gets out, he should hold the Igbos accountable. What is he saying? Let me see this.
You talked about Nnamdi Kanu. As an Igbo man, what do you have to say about his situation?
I personally don't like talking about Nnamdi Kanu again. not because of fear, but because of disappointment. Nnamdi Kanu disappointed Ndi Igbo. The only person that had achieved the level of social fame Nnamdi Kanu got on a platter of gold, the last person and the first and the only person who got it fought with his life to get it, which is Odumegwu Ojukwu. He fought with his life. And he did so much to get this love Nnamdi Kanu got on a platter of gold. I was expecting Nnamdi Kanu to leverage his fame at his peak to give a redirection to Ndi Igbo. I am one of those people that have seen Nnamdi Kanu one-on-one. I met him one-on-one in London. At the time when his tone became too violent, I was one of those people that started sending him email and messages and say, you have to change the direction of this your message. You are beginning to get to your peak. Your message should be less start.
Okay. Well, I mean,
you talked about Nnamdi Kanu.
I mean, I don't know. I think at some point there should be an internal reflection. Okay. Yeah, it is what it is. Lady narrates what she would do if Boko Haram decides to attack her in secondary school. Let me see this.
The Nigerian government have decided to do nothing regarding the increasing case of kidnapping. Here's what I would do if Boko Haram decides to come to my school.
Okay.
Secondary school. So I'll just be generally on my own, reading my books, preparing for my exam. And they decide to come in saying, everybody put your hands in the air, put your hands in the air. Me, I will not really care. I'll just be reading my books because I have exam coming. They will not be telling people your money or your life, stuff like that. One of the Boko Haram guys, his name...
Okay, it shows that you don't even understand what you're saying. Boko Haram don't say your money or your life. Is that how you're kidnapped or you're killed? It's one of the two.
His name is Damian. When I notice me, when I be like, who is that girl reading there so nonchalantly? She's just so different from... Oh, God. She's just so different from every other girl in this school. So Damian now comes to approach me, now told me, Maureen, do you mind putting your hands in the air? And I will tell him, please, I'm very busy, I have exam coming up, like you guys can do whatever you're doing, like don't really stress me, I need to concentrate.
Okay.
Like, wow, okay, I'm so sorry, carry on. When one of the guys want to come and meet me, Damian will now tell them, guy, no touch these people, she's with me. So, and I'll ask Damian, what are we actually becoming in this country? Damian was like, Maureen, you're very right. We should stop this. So, and I came to the front of the class and climbed on a table and I said, everybody listen to me. What are we becoming in this country? Leave these children alone and let peace reign. So decided to leave the children alone and peace ran. Like on a more serious note now, this thing can literally...
What the hell? Well, what is this? Okay. Yeah, just let peace reign and peace... Let peace reign and peace run. It is what it is. Also, man, I'm tired of the Biafra mindset. Azikwe was warned about the coup, and that's why I quickly ran away. The Biafra soldier killed my family, and when you speak your truth, Igbos will call you by God. They want to criticize others, but don't want to be criticized. What is this? I know President Tinubu is a man of action. I would advise him to send Shey Gumi's son, who is in the Nigeria army, to the front line instead of staying in office. Oh, Shey Gumi's son is in the military? Let me see this.
I just say picking an army. Things like this, he picking, you go put her for front line. Make it go all those hot spots where they happen. Maybe not sit down office. You put on, make it go feed.
Again, I don't even know why his son. This is a guy that has been barred from entering Saudi Arabia, and you have his son in the army. Wow.
He go defend the country. May defend against his brothers then. We say that they vex because Nigeria neglect them. So if anybody vex that, who Nigeria never neglects, who Nigeria never fear.
And even is that a justification for you to go bomb other people or kill other people because you've been neglected because you're dealing with poverty? I mean, it doesn't make sense.
Nigeria never do. Who Nigeria don't really give justice if they say make we talk truth? Who? So
I
because
agree.
with a verse
Yeah.
on Nigeria, we go just carry hands. And all this nonsense starts, I'm not going to just start. It starts from us, wake up for Niger Delta. We just verse, don't go bust pipeline. We just verse, we don't go kidnap Igbo. We don't verse, say we dey drag land, we don't dey kill each other. At the end of the day, government come beg us, say, Mona collect amnesty na, hey, Mona not fight again, drop your hands na. 9 people for North don't learn. Don't turn to disaster, disgrace for full global stage. Yes, we know, say, bandits then. Every bad boys for area, they get one bra way that they respect, even if the bra and not do anything bad. But they go just respect and say, now let this bra fit talk over here. The bra and all the talk now say, see, the people say Nigeria neglect them. But bra, you're not supposed to talk all those things. Nigeria
welcome to the show.
Abi NBC, Abi how do they call una? Una not supposed to broadcast all those things. All this now rubbish. You don't negotiate with terrorists for crying out loud now. Put PK, make they deploy PK, go all those hotspots, where they fight, they shoot, all those things. Make they see their brother, whether they go shoot their brother. If their brother talk to them, if you understand, okay, our family don't tell us, say, Nigeria first to. If we not come here now, they say they go run through us. There should be a will, there should be seriousness. Even we as citizens self, if person they position, even if we not like the person self, when it comes to leadership, everybody should rally around that leader and make things work. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing his best to fight insurgency in this country. Let's call a spade a spade. Some of them don't agree post-term. NSA, the US, the Department of War, Pentagon, as I talk to na.
Yeah, but the thing is this, again, what's the result? Like, what's the trajectory? Like, do you, that you're speaking now, okay, he's doing his best, but are we seeing a possible solution, a possible pathway to relative peace? You're sitting down there saying he's doing his best. Okay, fine. The families that are being at the receiving end are not saying that he's doing his best. As far as they're concerned, they're losing members. Okay? Yeah. Okay, let me see this. That's why people are talking about state police, grassroots security initiatives. Exactly. State police, grassroots initiative, vigilante, and all that. But also there are reports that at times the vigilantes, at times they are also kneecapped. State police would have been a good thing, but at this point in time, I'm not even so sure that if we want to actually establish a state police today, that is going to help us in the short term. It's going to help in the long term, but I don't know if it's going to help in the short term, because then there will be training, there will be, exchange of stuff and all of that. But yeah, state police is a must do, is a must do for Nigeria. But even at that, it's going to take like a while, because you're going to have more like what I would call a learning curve before they get up to speed, the training. Remember also, you have politicians in the state also who want to use them and compromise them. How do you even guarantee that they won't be compromised and all of those? So in the immediate term, I think there should be a more dedicated tag team. Drop people from the police force, drop people from the military, drop people from the Air Force. Let there be a tag team that should just go in, and do a comprehensive work on stemming out corruption once and for all. And of course, there will be one or two incidences, but it won't be this, rampant.
DSS boss don't go report to Tinubu yesterday. Minister of Defense, they don't deploy and go Kebbi. Maybe they kidnap those guys.
Nigeria is a big country for a central policing. I agree with you. While we set up the state police, I believe there should still be a tag team that includes all these other forces together that would be doing that work. Because even in all these other countries that have, municipality police and all that, there's a certain level of work that you have to fly in people from the Fed. There's some cases that is the FBI that will have to take over. So again, yeah, you have them, you work with them in collaboration with them and all of those. But in terms of this level of rebellion and level of internal insurgency, state police can only help. They won't be able 100% to stem it out, especially when we're just now setting them up.
If you be minister, you go dey feed. You know, if they Abuja, they blow siren around. When things your work, you know, they do, and you go feed. And not be just say when they can't reach there, they go now your press briefing. Oga, you go enter feed. When they go patrol, you go lead by example. Now make you be minister of defense. Not before weekend matter when I go to talk put. Matter where consigned to bar, you go carry on. You go enter feed. They not feed, they monkey all the work, but we go the shop. The army, so may you see, if the army there, they are emets, not there enough to they store bullets, that time we go know. That time we go know. Because when you see what they lack, when you don't they feed, you they patrol, when they don't baby bullet pass here, wow. You could say, let's say we get this guy, one now, we say if they shoot you, they bounce the bullet, you know, understand? All those kind of things. We need better tools, not be AK-47. We need all those kind of ways, so you just twist and turn fire, don't burn there. All those kind of doing, say, hey, we need drone, we go the, you know, we need and seek for greener pasture. Now, cause problem for the country finish now, call the talk say, now rights, the government is the short change you now. So government is short change you now, means say you go carry gun, call the flipping of people. The children will go school now, they frustrate.
The TAC team is bigger risk now with compromised military. I mean, I agree. But at the same time, I think you have a point there. It's crazy. They've said I shouldn't say it's messed up, but it's crazy.
You. The mama they will go church, go pray, now they frustrate you. The people where they travel, they go seek for their daily 2K. One now they kidnap road, now they frustrate you. The person who decide to take the bull by the one way say, I want even their leadership self, now they frustrate you. The system already bend, and now how to repair and everybody they try to do. But that does not mean that you take the laws into your hand, and at the end of the day, you put it under the umbrella of tribalism or religion or land disputes.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, yeah. So this is a whole video of...
When you ask a battery of questions, how do you expect me to convince you? Let me step one by one. IPOB is attacking the police, is attacking the army, is attacking INEC, government institutions, killing our men in service. And the herdsmen are kidnapping children, not to kill them, to get money. So how can you compare somebody who's killing our gallant men in the armed forces directly, attacking them, to somebody who's kidnapping children to make money, not to kill them? Look.
Did he actually say this? Wow.
We need some fairness in what we are doing. When you ask a battery of questions, how do
wow, that's crazy. Wow. Wow. With our Obi's recent post and his open show for support of Nnamdi Kanu and by extension IPOB only confirm what some of us has been saying. Before anything, Nigeria must understand that Peter Obi has never condemned the atrocities committed by IPOB in the East. In fact, just like Gumi in the Northwest, Obi keeps trying to gaslight the public into thinking we do not understand what is going on. Wow. Wow, yeah, I heard him. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's really, really crazy. We'll see what happens. This is one of the 38 members that was rescued. Let me see.
We start because that evening, after like 30 minutes of the program, we start the program by 30 minutes of the program. After the
wow, the sound is very poor.
People, they begin to now they are seeing drop of blood everywhere.
Now, from that Tuesday to today, when you are released, what is the situation right there inside the bush?
It was unimaginable because when we got here, we really know that it was a dominated area.
Wow.
Even they have the courage to tell themselves that they are trying to do. And they make us know that there's no one that can just slip away without being caught. And with what we see, nobody can escape. From that place they have dominated. They knew all the routes surrounding all those bushes, then Kwara and other states. Never.
Wow.
What can you say about the feeling there? It's okay. Thank you.
This is kidnapped individual. Wow. It's crazy. I don't know. Again, don't forget it was Buhari's government propaganda to name IPOB as terrorist. Yeah. Why is Peter Obi, I understand the fact that things are not going the way it should, but why is he writing this way? Who are those people writing for him? Is Nigeria cursed or are we cursed? Are we the curse? I don't know. Like, why does it it starts with, at times it says we are finished. Yeah, that video is why I told you that the cow police is surveillance. I agree with that, because number one, and each of these people, with those cow and herd and all that, carrying guns and all that, I think they should ban all this nomadic stuff. The past 10 days in Nigeria has witnessed unprecedented negative news. Our country is now going through troubling times, okay? We have all watched a nation blessed with people of strength. The past 10 days, it listed all of this stuff that has happened, okay? And as I was speaking about this, I received another devastating report about the abduction of 13 female farmers. That was just today. Terrorist ambush, guns down 5 police officers in just 2 in Sabon Zara, Darazo local government of Bauchi State. I didn't even hear that one. No serious nation survived on excuses, indifference, or absentee leadership. What we're witnessing is not inevitable. It is a direct consequence of we, the leaders, not valuing human life. Nigeria is bleeding because those elected to protect the nation have chosen comfort over courage, politics over people, and power over purpose. Wow. You and your tribesmen, wow. I mean, I don't know, bro. It is what it is. Oh, B-Lord and Very Dark Man. I don't think I want to go into that. It is well. Justice Omotosho escapes assassination attempt. Justice Omotosho of the Federal High Court in Abuja narrowly survived an assassination attempt earlier this morning. I don't understand all this assassination attempt in Abuja. Before now, we heard it was a soldier that confronted Wike. I learned that was also a fake news. Well, I don't know. His car was riddled with bullets, which was an indication of a calculated attempt to snub life. I've not seen this. Wow. November 22? Really? Let me see if this is true. Wow. Wow. Really? Let me see if this is correct. So Justice Omotosho was the presiding. Okay, so it's a false claim. Okay, so that's X for you. It's a lie. Because if it was true, then that would be all over the news. Okay. You just want to verify some of this news and all of that. Okay. All right, guys. I got to go. Thanks a lot for watching. Slow news day today, and I will continue tomorrow. Have a blessed week. I wish you guys well in your walk and everything you do. If you've not subscribed to this channel, please, I would appreciate if you could help us. We're growing this channel just to create a community right before also the 2027 elections. Thanks for watching. Thanks everyone, and have a great week. Yeah, bye.